This is News Hour on Ifako Radio. Good morning, I'm Olanu Etiololade. The major headlines. Nurses shun FG talks. Begin warning strike today. Tinubu offers jobs. 250,000 naira to outstanding corps members. Rescue of Chibok girls. Leah Sharibu still national priority. FG. INEC to SEC. Conducting council polls without mandatory notice. Recipe for anarchy. Entertainment. I once ran errands for Don Jazzy. The Banch, says Davido. News in detail. Nurses shun FG talks. Begin warning strike today. Nurses under the umbrella of National Association of Nigerian Nurses and Midwives, Federal Health Institution sector have insisted that their planned 7-day warning strike will begin on Wednesday. The members vowed to complete the strike even if the government called for negotiations. Speaking in an interview with our correspondent on Tuesday, the national chairman of NNM FHI, Morakinyo Rilwan, said the government had 15 days to respond to their demands but failed to act. The union on July 14, 2025 issued a 15-day ultimatum to the federal government demanding immediate intervention to prevent a total healthcare shutdown. Some of the demands of the nurses are the upward review of shift allowance, uniform allowance adjustment, a separate salary structure for nurses, increased core duty allowance, mass employment of nurses, and the establishment of a nursing department in the Federal Ministry of Health, among others. Tinubu offers jobs, 250,000 naira to outstanding corps members. President Bola Ahmed Tinubu has approved automatic employment of 200 outstanding National Youth Service Corps members into the Federal Civil Service. The president also okayed the payment of 250,000 naira cash to them in recognition of their exceptional service to the nation between 2020 and 2023. He also announced postgraduate scholarships for all honorees, including 10 physically challenged Earth Corps members who sustained injuries during their service year and were likewise granted federal jobs. The president's largest was announced yesterday in Abuja at the combined 2020 to 2023 President's NYSC Honors Award ceremony. Represented by the Minister of State for Labor and Employment, Nkeruka Onyejiochi, President Tinubu said, "Your discipline, commitment, selflessness, teamwork, patriotism, and integrity have set you apart." Rescue of Chibok girls. Leah Sharibu still national priority. FG. The federal government has reiterated its commitment to securing the release of the remaining abducted Chibok schoolgirls and Leah Sharibu, assuring Nigerians that the girls have not been forgotten despite the passage of time. A total of 276 girls were abducted by Boko Haram from the government girls' secondary school in Chibok, Borno State, on April 14, 2014. 11 years later, 87 girls are still believed to be in captivity. Similarly, Leah Sharibu was among the 110 schoolgirls kidnapped by Islamic State West African Province fighters from the government Girls' Science and Technical College, Dapchi, Yobe State, on February 19, 2018. While others were released, Leah, the only Christian among them, remains in captivity. 210 trillion naira audit. Senate demands NNPC response in 3 weeks. The Senate on Tuesday gave the Group Chief Executive Officer of the Nigerian National Petroleum Company Limited, Bayo Ojulari, 3 weeks to respond to queries raised in audit reports covering the period of 2017 to 2023 regarding the alleged unaccounted sum of 210 trillion naira. The directive was issued by the Senate Committee on Public Accounts, chaired by Senator Ahmed Wadada, Nasarawa West. After a session with Ojulari, Senator Wadada clarified that the money was neither missing nor stolen, but was yet to be properly accounted for. He said the 210 trillion naira unaccounted for is broadly in two components of 103 trillion naira liabilities and 107 trillion naira assets, which must be accounted for. None of the 18 or 19 questions we asked NNPC to explain came from the executive or judiciary. They are questions extracted from the audited financial statements of the NNPC by the Auditor General covering 2017 to 2023. Also, this committee had not at any time said the 210 trillion naira in question, as far as the queries are concerned, was stolen or missing. What the committee is doing is the required investigation on queries raised in the report in line with its constitutional mandate. Therefore, the committee is giving NNPC 3 weeks to forward written responses on all 19 queries, after which the GCO will be invited along with other management staff to appear for defense. Ojulari, who was appearing before the committee for the first time since assuming office a little over 100 days ago, tendered an apology for earlier failed appearances. Poor police pension, killing morale in service, IG. The Inspector General of Police Kayode Egbetokun has raised concerns over the plight of retired officers under the contributory pension scheme, saying many lives in humiliating conditions. He said the hardship has instilled fear and anxiety among serving officers, weakening morale across the ranks. He stated this during a meeting with senior police officers in Abuja. On July 24, 2025, retired police officers protested in Abuja, lamenting their poor treatment and humiliating pension payments. During the protest, they demanded to be removed from the contributory pension scheme, which they claimed had been shortchanging them. Egbetokun, speaking in Abuja on Tuesday, said the living conditions of retired officers were unacceptable, given the sacrifices they made in service. NDLEA sells 2 seized properties at 439 million naira. 2 of the 8 properties forfeited by drug traffickers has been auctioned for 139 million naira. The National Drug Law Enforcement Agency said yesterday. The seized houses in Lagos, Ogun, Ondo, and Kano states were either acquired with proceeds of drug trafficking or used as instrumentality of committing the crime. A public auction was yesterday conducted on the forfeited houses at the agency's national headquarters in Abuja. Pre-qualified auctioneers, bidders, representatives of civil society organizations, the media, and other government agencies witnessed the process. NDLEA Chairman, Chief Executive Brigadier General Mohammed Buba said the auction forms part of the agency's strategic efforts to dismantle drug trafficking networks by depriving offenders the liberty and illicit wealth in strict compliance with legal framework and due process. President has asked us to ensure ASU others don't go to strike, says Alausa. Education Minister Tunji Alausa has said President Bola Ahmed Tinubu's administration is determined to ensure that there are no industrial actions in the education sector. Alausa, who spoke yesterday as a guest on a national television program, said the president has directed his team to ensure that the Academic Staff Union of Universities and other unions in tertiary institutions across the country do not embark on a strike. He said the president has directed that not again in this country will ASU or tertiary institutions, trade unions, go on strike. The minister announced that the government regularly meets with ASU, the Colleges of Education Academic Staff Union, the Non-Academic Staff Union of Educational and Associated Institutions, and the Senior Staff Association of Nigerian Universities. INEC to SIEC. Conducting council polls without mandatory notice, recipe for anarchy. Chairman of the Independent National Electoral Commission, Professor Mahmoud Yakubu, has urged officials of the State Independent Electoral Commission to learn how to abide by the provisions of the law to enable them to conduct credible elections at the local government level. Yakubu said this when he hosted the leadership of the state electoral bodies in his office yesterday in Abuja. The INEC chairman told the SIEC officials that the activities often reflected the commissions negatively. He said many Nigerians believed that the various SIECs were appendages of the INEC. Yakubu explained that while both bodies were created through the provision of the Constitution, INEC was constitutionally empowered to perform certain functions that SIECs were not empowered to perform. Entertainment. I once ran errands for Don Jazzy, the bunch, says Davido. Grammy-nominated singer Davido has shared a nostalgic story about his early days in the music industry, revealing how he used to run errands for prominent artists Don Jazzy and the bunch. In a viral video, Davido recounted how he would drive his father's luxurious Rolls Royce to buy McDonald's for the duo while freestyling for them in Atlanta around 2007 to 2009. In Atlanta, 2007 or 2008 or 2009, in my father's house, I was freestyling for Don Jazzy and the Band. He sent me to go and buy McDonald's with my papa car, Rolls Royce, he said. Prioritize 2027 elections over bus stop renaming, Charlie Boy tells Nigerians. Veteran musician and activist Charlie Boy has called on Nigerians to prioritize the upcoming 2027 general elections over controversies such as renaming of Charlie Boy bus stop in Badaga, Lagos. The bus stop was recently renamed Olamide Bado bus stop after rapper and music executive Olamide Adedeji. Charlie Boy, in an interview on Channels TV, expressed indifference to the name change, emphasizing that recognition should be given to individuals who have made meaningful contributions to their communities. He highlighted his past contributions to the Badaga community, including providing support to military pensioners, Okada riders, and students, as well as offering scholarships to young people. Recap of the major headlines. Nurses shun FG talks, begin warning strike today. Tinubu offers job, 250,000 naira to outstanding corps members. Rescue of Chibok girls, Leah Sharibu, still national priority, FG. INEC to SIEC, conducting council polls without mandatory notice, recipe for anarchy. Entertainment, I once ran errands for Don Jazzy, the Banch, says Davido. Follow us on all our social media handles: Facebook at Ifako Radio, X at Ifako Radio, YouTube at Ifako Radio, WhatsApp at Ifako Radio, Instagram at Ifako_radio. For news reporting, contact us at ifakoradio@gmail.com or call or WhatsApp 091 22 22 7433. Special thanks to the news producer. Thanks for watching. I'm Olanu Etiolulade. Have a wonderful Wednesday. God bless Ifako Jai.